We all change. None of us look how we used to look when we were kids. But when you've been famous since you were a kid, those changes are all the more noticeable. Because every second of your life is on film. These are famous child actors you would never recognize today. Number 15. Daniel Radcliffe. I know it's very hard to hear this, but it's already been 17 years since the first Harry Potter movie came out. God, I'm old. Daniel Radcliffe impersonated the young magician to perfection, touching the hearts of millions of kids all over the world. But actually, Radcliffe had a very hard time during the filming of the Harry Potter franchise. Fame for child actors can sometimes be difficult to deal with, especially at the young age of 11. There's also the fact that he was doing several projects at the same time, all very time-consuming. He was simultaneously playing in theater and starring in other films as well. And Radcliffe later in his career took to drinking alcohol as an outlet to cope with the difficulties of stardom. You can even notice in some scenes that he slurs his words. But thanks to his friends and family's support, he's managed to step out of his addiction and get much better. And even if he apologized publicly to his fans, today he's absolutely unrecognizable. He looks pretty sick, and people are starting to wonder about his health condition. Like this video, smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Now, it's time for the odd topic. The son of Will and Jada Smith, Jaden Smith had fame thrust upon him from birth and has been reveling in it in all manner of ways. He has a fashion line, he's an actor, he's released music, he's done more in his young life than most of us ever will. And in that relatively short time, he's changed a lot. The image on the left shows what most people remember Jaden looking like, but the photo on the right shows what he looks like these days. It's a bold look for sure, and quite the change. What do you think? Which look do you prefer? Old school or the revamp? As always, comment down below with the hashtag #OddTopic and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. With that said, let's keep things moving. Number 14. Julianna Rose MAURIELLO. The cute pink-haired Stephanie from Lazy Town. Remember her? Whatever happened to her? Well, she certainly didn't become lazy. Many people wondered where she disappeared to. Was it oblivion or even darker? Well, thankfully, we don't have to rely on the tabloids for the truth. They had her being arrested for prostitution or ending her life through a drug overdose. But no such wild, dramatic stories for Julianne. She was simply studying. Yeah, that's right. She gave up her acting career to go and study at Columbia University. Not to act or dance.
Your eyes right here. Julianna, straight ahead.
But to do a master's degree in occupational therapy. Quite the change from the pink-haired, dancing, alt-singing Stephanie to a full-time therapist. From stage plays to filming in Iceland on Lazy Town, shooting to stardom across 70 countries, and appearing in numerous television commercials, she thought about her future. She never went back into acting. Her last role was in 2013 on a TV miniseries, The Doc Files. So if you want to see her again, you best book an appointment with her in her new therapist role. The question is, will you even recognize her? Number 13. Davy Chase. Starting to perform at the age of 3 and racking up an impressive list of television shows as early as age 8, the list is long. However, Davy Chase is probably best known for her role as the little girl Samara in the 2002 horror film The Ring. She scared all of us when she appeared on the screen, but you wouldn't recognize her now. No longer the scary little girl, but a beautiful young woman. Davy no longer has the black horror hair, but flowing blonde Californian locks where she now resides. In fairness, Davy was always a super cute kid. You know, just the horror film makeup haunted us forever and hid us from her real beauty. Davy has in fact been inside your television for years, every pun intended. She has been in numerous series, such as, amongst others, CSI. If you don't recognize her looks, well, her voice is pretty famous too.
I'm pretty sure it's BCBG. I'm not quite sure, I just picked it out last night. I was kind of rushed, so.
She was the voice of the human girl Lilo in Lilo and Stitch, and also the English voice of Chihiro in the award-winning Japanese animated film Spirited Away.
No more caffeine for you.
One thing's for sure, voice or physical, you would never recognize her in the street now if you still have the Ring image in your mind. Number 12. MIKO Hughes. Remember the adorable little boy in Stephen King's Pet Sematary that was run over by a truck and came back as a killer brat? Well, that was MIKO Hughes, and that wasn't his first role in films and television at age 4. MIKO had already been in a public service announcement at 22 months old and had his first feature film at 27 months old. From there, MIKO did not stop with Pet Sematary. His acting career continued to grow, with films such as his dramatic portrayal of an autistic boy opposite Bruce Willis in the blockbuster hit Mercury Rising. He also starred in Apollo 13 and Kindergarten Cop.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
An in-demand child star of Native American origins, where his name means chief in Chickasaw, he worked with some of the biggest stars, but sometimes his later roles were hit or miss. Although still acting, he has another passion of beekeeping and counts his 30,000 bees as pets. Maybe it's better you see how he looks now instead of that chillin', scalpel-wielding zombie brat from Pet Sematary. I mean, if you saw that kid, you would run the other way. Number 11. Ivana BAQUERO. So many child stars have been remembered for their fantasy or horror film roles. Well, there's no exception here for Ivana BAQUERO. Pan's Labyrinth was one of Guillermo del Toro's most iconic films to date. And, yep, you guessed it, the dreamer Ophelia was played by Ivana BAQUERO. Originally cast for an 8-year-old, Guillermo was so impressed with her audition that he changed the role to meet her 11-year-old age. Born in Barcelona, Ivana started acting at age 8, but it was her role in Pan's Labyrinth that shot her to international stardom and acclaim. Her acting in the film earned her the 2007 Goya Award, and she hasn't stopped since. Now 27 years old, she's far from the sweet little girl that Guillermo del Toro hired for the role. As you can see, Ivana is now a beautiful young lady. From working with Kevin Costner, she continues to work every year on English and Spanish-speaking roles. Ivana is certainly one to watch.
This is a terrible plan.
Whilst Ivana is still fully dedicated to her acting career, she is in parallel studying law. So be careful, you might have to do a double take if you're ever in a court of law in the future. Number 10. TAHJ MOWRY. The 90s gave us so many child stars, but do you remember them all? Well, you surely can't have missed TAHJ MOWRY playing TJ Henderson in the Disney sitcom Smart Guy.
Very wrong. Now I'm going up to my room to think about what I did, okay?
The cute kid played many more roles, including Sonic the Hedgehog, Out All Night, Where I Live, and most notably playing Teddy in Full House. Born in Honolulu, Hawaii, he was managed by his mother, who also managed his twin sisters. In 1994, Mowry joined his twin sisters, Tia Mowry Hardrick and Tamara Mowry Housley, on their ABC hit sitcom Sister Sister. And we have to mention his cameo appearance in Friends in the Super Bowl episode. I mean, who doesn't want to be in Friends? Even Courtney Cox called him cute. Taj has never really stopped. In 2015, he signed a record deal and released an EP to show off his singing talents. Not bad at all. From a cute kid to a handsome young man, I'm sure Taj is turning heads in the streets. The question is, would you recognize that cheeky grin? Number 9. MACKENZIE ROSMAN. Some child stars continue a long career, while some have a short, successful career. MACKENZIE ROSMAN starred in an amazing 236 episodes of Seventh Heaven playing Ruthie Camden. Surely you must remember her role as the angsty teen to parents Eric and Annie. At 16, she had 10 years of acting experience behind her, which is very impressive for such a young age. But after a few more projects, she seemed to disappear. Where did she go? Well, she's now a competitive show jumper in her spare time. but surely that's not where she is now. Well, it seems she's been fairly selective in her roles because she's also decided to champion and help others. Her stepsister has cystic fibrosis, and Mackenzie decided to dedicate a lot of her time with fundraising for cystic fibrosis. Part of that journey is educating people about organ donation so that those with cystic fibrosis can have a better chance at a normal life. Not all child stars take the acting world by storm and continue to concentrate on their careers. Good for Mackenzie to continue her charity work and personal work in helping others. Number 8. Jonathan Lipnicki. Jerry Maguire, show me the money! One of the famous lines in film delivered by Cuba Gooding Jr., but someone else had a cuter line in that film, and it wasn't Tom Cruise. As the adorable son of Renee Zellweger, he very sweetly said, "Did you know that human heads weigh 8 pounds?
A human head weighs 8 pounds.
Remember that scene? Well, that was Jonathan Lipnicki. At age 5, he became an instant hit in Hollywood. So where do you go after co-starring with Tom Cruise in your first film? Well, you can take another child role and make it your own. Stuart Little and Stuart Little 2. Yeah, that was Jonathan too. The cute little guy from Jerry Maguire didn't stop there, and he's still acting to this day. Before the age of 10, his films had grossed nearly $750 million at the box office. Yeah, nearly $1 billion. He showed them the money for sure. Although he did decide to take a break in his teenage years. He wanted to be a normal teenager and enjoy the prom, see his friends, and graduate. However, he has developed into a very handsome young man, and who knows what the world holds for him. Number 7. Abigail Breslin. Abigail Breslin was born in 1996 in New York. You might know her from her Little Miss Sunshine days or her Scream Queens role. But she isn't a little girl anymore. She's all grown up now, and she is still killing it. Now that she's in her 20s, she's made quite a name for herself. She's already been nominated for many different awards, even an Oscar. She's good at everything she does, would it be cinema, TV, or music. In 2014, she was the focus of the tabloids after she released a bitter song about an ex-boyfriend called You Suck. But Abigail sees that part of her life as a pivotal point in her path to maturity and womanhood. Who can blame her? We've all been heartbroken in our teenage years, and we've done things we're not proud of. But all of that's in her past now. She's getting ready to take the silver screen by storm once more with the iconic movie Zombieland under her belt and a potential hit Stillwater in the making. Number 6. Jaleel White. You won't believe what Jaleel White looks like today. Remember him in the all-time classic American sitcom Family Matters? He played Steve Urkel. Did I do that? You know, the nerdy kid with the thick glasses. Did you know he was supposed to be a one-time appearance on that show? But he had such a major and instant success that they decided to keep him as a cast member. Well, now he's all grown up and he's a catch. He's very athletic and not at all shy like he was when he was a kid. He even has a daughter named Samaya that looks exactly like him. Since the show stopped airing, he's been up to a lot of different things. He's appeared in other TV shows like Dreamgirls, NCIS, CSI, and many others. He's also lent his voice as Sonic in the popular cartoon series Sonic the Hedgehog. Jaleel has said in the past that even though he jumped into stardom with the role of Steve, in his opinion, he only became a true actor later in his career. But of course, his love for Little Urkel will always be the same. Number 5. Josh Peck. Josh Peck was catapulted into fame with the TV show Drake and Josh that first aired in 2004, but since then, he's been working on lots of different things. His most recent projects are Locating Silver Lake in 2018 and Doors in 2021. He also has a recurring role on Fox's The Mindy Project, and he voiced a character on Nickelodeon's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In 2015 and 2016, he also starred with John Stamos on Fox's Grandfather. And on top of that, he has a contract with Disney Plus for their upcoming TV adaptation of Turner and Hooch. It's important to note that Josh is a jack of many trades, and he's also managed managed to make a name for himself online and in social media. He had huge success on Vine before the platform abruptly shut down in 2017, and nowadays he's a very big YouTuber.
My sushi date from 2001 through 2004.
He's 34 years old now, and he's showing the world all his amazing talent. Watch out for Josh, we'll be seeing more of him. Number 4. Malcolm David Kelley. Remember the little boy from the mega success TV show Lost? That show is probably one of the best in history, probably the most underwhelming final episode of all time too. But don't worry, there'll be no spoilers here. Malcolm David Kelley played the role of Walt Lloyd, who is one of the most fascinating figures from the first seasons.
Amazing. About to go on tour with Demi Lovato. We're opening and supporting her, so it'll be a good time, man. This year.
He appeared to have supernatural power like telepathy and astral projection, and the origin of his powers are amongst the biggest unsolved mysteries of the show. But where is Malcolm David Kelley today? Well, for starters, he's 29 years old now, and he's a very successful rapper and songwriter. He formed the duo MKTO with former co-star Tony Aller, and they were signed to Columbia Records, with whom they released their self-titled debut album in 2014. He also never stopped acting. He played the character Finn Cattens in all 18 episodes of Teen Nick series Gigantic in 2010, and he was a guest actor in many major TV shows like Bones, Blind Spot, and The Closer. Number 3. ALYSON Stoner. She needs no introduction. ALYSON Stoner cut up literally every Missy Elliott music video in the early 2000s. You'll probably remember her from Work It or I'm Really Hot. This girl was the best dancer out there. She was also huge on the children's TV and movie world the entire 2000s decade. She starred in Cheaper by the Dozen in 2003 and also starred in the sequel in 2005. And let's not forget, she was featured in the Disney Channel original movie Camp Rock alongside Demi Lovato and the Jonas Brothers. But where is she now? Well, first of all, she's not a little girl anymore. She's 27 years old. And by the way, she's still kicking some ass in the dance department. She's still working with Missy. In 2019, she rocked the stage at the MTV Video Music Awards, where she reprised her role as a child dancer and made a fantastic cameo on stage in an unforgettable yellow tracksuit. If you haven't seen it, you really should. She's also making music. In 2019, she released her original track, Stripped Bare, which is about childhood fame and the issues that come with it. But thankfully, Stoner keeps her high spirits, and she isn't about to step down from the stage just yet. Number 2. Haley Joel Osment. Why is it that when a child delivers a creepy line, it sounds so much worse? I see dead people. That was the line that Haley Joel Osment delivered in the 1999 film The Sixth Sense. At 11 years old, he starred with Bruce Willis in the film and became a cult classic. Imagine, he had already played Tom Hanks' son in Forrest Gump before that. Amazing. Many actors dream of starring with Tom Hanks and Bruce Willis, but Haley had already acted with both by age 11. He was the first millennial male to receive an Oscar nomination for acting. He really was one of the best young actors of his generation. Since his days as a child actor, he has continued to do voiceovers for games, movies, and television series. He also continued acting in lighter roles than his earlier roles. The list is too long to list. Oh, but I got two off the top of my head: Comedy Bang Bang and Silicon Valley. Great in both. Anyway, he was quoted as saying, "It's hard to act terrified when you have 200 crew members around you." Well, Haley, you certainly convinced us. But I'm not sure you would recognize him if you met him. Sporting a full beard, he has definitely grown from that cute boy to a full-grown man. Number 1. Bug Hall. Bug Hall, do you know him? Or Brandon Hall? Well, it's the same person. Given the nickname Bug whilst very young, it stuck with him ever since and became his stage name. And what a stage he took when he starred as the lead role Alfalfa in the 1994 children's classic, The Little Rascals. It was an instant success and his face became internationally known.
Yeah, the two of us will both be singing a duet.
It was an incredibly important film for this generation of children, and the film is still loved to this day. But like so many classic children films, what happened to its star? Well, Bug continued to act and does so to this day, but he never reached the same fame as he did at that early age. Although, would you believe that it was Bug that was in one of the American Pie films, The Book of Love? Yeah, that was him. Arrested in 2020 for huffing, Bug is bouncing back, and we wish him all the best. He's gone from beard to no beard, but the public can see what a very good-looking man he is. Married with a child, we still thank him for delighting us with The Little Rascals. As you can see, not all child actors end up sad and forgotten. Some of them continue doing great things well into adulthood, but it's impossible to not notice how hard it is for the majority. Knowing this, if you could go back in time, would you try your chances as a child star? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time!